Welcome to case 4 of the Happy Trail strategy. If you are selecting this case, it is because you likely have traded Happy Trail already and you are trading the old version of Happy Trail. Case 4 is the old version of Happy Trail. So if you have been a member of the trading floor for a while and you like the original, this is the case that you would select. For this version of Happy Trail, what you will see is that the signals will pull from the time frame that you have your trading view set to. This case does not utilize a higher time frame bias. So what you will see in this is that you will just see signals that are printing and they will always be alternating, meaning you will only have a bullish signal followed by a bearish signal followed by another bullish signal. You will have less smiley faces when you are using case 4 because they will only be signaling when the market is sensing a full change in momentum and trend in the actual market for the time frame that you have selected. So for this example, we're on the 15-minute chart on Euro USD. So that means that these smiley faces are using data based off of the 15-minute time frame for this particular case. In order to select case 4, please come up to your Happy Trail indicator. If you do not know how to put the indicator on your chart, please do watch the introduction video where I show how to load the indicator onto your chart. What you're going to do is hover over your Happy Trail indicator that is in the upper left-hand corner, and you're going to select the wheel. This is your settings wheel, and you are going to come to inputs. What you will do is make sure that you have case 4 selected. Please make sure that you only have one case selected at a time. If you have multiple cases selected, an error will occur and none of the data will load. If this occurs, please make sure that you unselect the case that you do not want to use and only have the case that you want to use selected. We are going to show you how to use case 4 in this video. In this case, you are only using the time frame, like I stated, that the trading view chart is set to. So you do not need any other settings selected, and you do not need to select a higher time frame. So once case 4 selected, click OK. And now this is what your chart will look like. So a upright smiley face will indicate a buy. A upside down smiley face will indicate a potential sell. Like I stated, when you have a new smiley face print, it is because the market is sensing a change in the shift in trend and momentum, and they will only print as alternating signals, meaning again, upright, upside down, upright, upside down. So you will likely have only one smiley face happen at the beginning of the move, and then you will not see another one until the market has sensed that the move has died out. In order to trade this system with case 4, I highly suggest that you do watch the price action course that we offer here at the trading floor and complete that course first. After you've watched that, I also do suggest if you like some of the SMC concepts or the ICT concepts that you do take things from those courses as well and apply them to case 4. The reason being is that while these smiley faces are great, they do sometimes produce false signals, and you need another way to help filter out when you should and should not enter. You should never be blindly entering into any of the indicators without some other confluence or some reason behind it. You should not just take every smiley face just because. When we are doing our backtesting, we do test it this way because we like to see worst case scenario. However, we know from experience that when you combine these with price action or other concept trading like the SMC or ICT trading that we offer here in those courses, that you will get much better results and higher win rates with them. So we highly suggest that you combine them with some other concept trading. To keep things simple though, so you understand why you would be entering or exiting, I'm going to show you a couple examples here of like how an entry would apply to you. So what you would see is you would get your upright smiley face. You would always want to enter in at close of candle. So you would enter in on your close of candle here. You could put your stop loss at your most recent low. So this could be a personal decision. You would have to practice this with your own markups, whether you would use the most recent low or would you use the most recent swing low in this case. Totally optional for you, and you can make that decision based off your own testing. For me to stay conservative, because most people can identify this as the most recent swing low. Some people would find this some others would find this a bit aggressive. We'll just stay a little more conservative. And then I like to target 1.5. That's a personal thing for me because that's how I like to test. And just to give me a reference point, I then like to look to the left of the market to see, is there an area of most recent price action that would make sense for the market to even target? So as you can see here, the market has recently been here and there is likely some sort of liquidity sitting in here. So for me, this looks like a nice place to target. So rather than overextending and reaching for a 1.5, I would likely put my take profit here and go for the more probable reward of a 1.38. This is still a very acceptable risk to reward because I am over a 1 reward, so I'd still be making more than I would be risking. Please make sure that you do practice safe risk management, and if you would like to know more about risk management, you can check out our risk management videos that we have in our how-to section in the Educational Center. For me, I personally would do something like this if I was looking to use market structure to the left. So that would be my take profit 1. I then would scroll out even more to see what else is over here to the left and identify the next structure. Again, I see a nice area of price action over here, and I will highlight what this looks like for you. So you can see that there is lots of price action happening within this whole shaded box area. Lots of touches of price. So you could be more conservative and target the bottom area, or you could be more aggressive and target up here. Totally optional, and again, up to your testing, or you could drop somewhere in the middle, and that's probably what I would do. And looking for a take profit 2, and that would be your take profit 2. Again, then looking to the left and seeing, is there another structure we could look to continue to trail? And looking at the area to the left, this looks like a nice area to target. And I will highlight again where I am seeing some price points that look good. So there is some wicks and things in here that look like there could be some liquidity left over. Looking to take your take profit 3 all the way up to that area. And it does look like you do hit it right here. So again, looking to the left and trailing again and seeing, is there anything that would be a good place to take your take profit 4 to? I like the top of this range. And you can see lots of areas there. And you would take your take profit 4 up to there, and you do get that as well. And continuing on with the move, you would just keep trailing your trade, going up the market and seeing however far you can trail this for. That would be up to you. That is your decision to make as far as how long you would want to hold this trade for. So take profit 5 would be here. You do get that. Then again, there would be another zone up here, it looks like. Right in here that you could target. I might bring this one down a little, right there. That one there. And taking this up, this would be your take profit 6. And you just reach that one. So that's what that would look like. That's a lot of trailing in this example. And this is not always going to be the case, but potentially a 13 reward or so that you would be getting here on this trade if you were able to hold it to all 6 take profit points. I highly suggest that if you do choose to do something like this with trailing and you are getting to this extent of your take profits, that obviously you are securing your profits along the way. You should never allow this to go this far without securing your profit. If you do not know how to do this, I am glossing through it quite quickly in this. Please do watch our how to use a trailing stop video that is in the Educational Center under our how-to videos by Artie, and he will teach you how to trail a trade. So that is very important in knowing how to do in order to secure your capital. So you want to make sure that you do know how to do that properly if you're going to be using something like this where you want to continue trailing your trade and letting it run to its full potential. It is also totally okay for you to just stop at a set reward like a 1.5 and just take your trade. When we do back testing, we tend to do that so we know we can have a standardized testing, and you can always reference our back testing to see what a set risk to reward would look like versus doing something like this where you're using price action to the left. There is no right or wrong when it comes to doing this. It's just what is your preference. So that is an example of how you would buy using a case 4, and I'll show you what a sell would look like now. So we have a sell option right here. So this is a perfect one to just get in on. And what this would look like is you would take your short position. You would enter in at close of candle using the most recent high, which would be up here. And you would target, again, a nice 1.5 or so. I like to kind of use as a rough idea. Marking this, and let's see to the left, what do we have? Oh, that makes perfect sense. So 1.5 is just under it a little bit. So you could be a little more cautious maybe again and just kind of take like a 1.35 or so. But when you're looking here to the left, there is lots of price action that the market is being driven back down to. And then you could look for a take profit 2 potentially. Look into the left. And this area looks nice in here as well as here. So I will highlight that so you can see the areas that I'm looking at. You can see lots of kind of little price action points in there that look good. Lots of points where there have been wicks, there have been retests, and so forth. So I would probably keep my take profit 2 somewhere in there, and that would be take profit 2, which you do hit. And that is about it for that trade. But the same concept would apply if it did continue down. You would just continue to mark your next level that you would see in the market, which this would be like a take profit 3 for me. I like how this looks. You can see there's lots of interest here. Again, lots of areas where it's breaking and retesting. Again, more consolidation of price and more price action. And that would be take profit 3 for me. Because your take profit 2 hits, you would still want to mark a take profit 3 potential. Again, you are trailing your trades, so you are securing them along the way. So you do not get your take profit 3 here, but you do get take profit 1 and take profit 2. So please make sure that you do always secure your capital. While this is a trailing strategy, it is not meant to be a hold forever strategy. You are meant to trail and trail properly while you secure your capital. So that is an example of how you would place a buy or a sell using case 4. I do, like I said, suggest using some other concept to help you filter it and not just blindly taking them as I just showed you. You would want some other reason as to why you would be entering into these. I'm just showing you what the markup would look like on this. There are tons of people already trading with this version of Happy Trail who are doing it very profitably, and they use a hybrid system between the smart money concept trading and the ICT type of trading. So if you haven't watched those courses, I do really suggest that you go watch them. You can check out a lot of the live streams that are offered. We have a few traders who do the lives that use a hybrid of Happy Trail along with those concepts. I myself really like to trade Happy Trail along with the breakout strategy and using like more price action. So there's no right or wrong when you're using Happy Trail. You can pick any of the cases between 1, 2, 3, or 4 and how you would like to apply it. And I highly suggest reaching out in the community into the Happy Trail chat room or into the hashtag strategy support room and asking for help with how you could optimize this. There is a lot of potential with Happy Trail, but there is also a lot of potential to have fake outs. So you need to be aware of why you're taking a smiley face and making sure that you are learning to take the best smiley faces and learning to leave behind the useless ones. So you need to learn how to weed them out properly. And this is something that you absolutely can do, but again, would require you to have finished the price action course and potentially adding in either the ICT concepts or an SMC type of concept if you wanted to take it to even another level. If you need additional help with the strategy, please do feel free to reach out to us. We are always happy to help you with any of the cases that pertain to the Happy Trail strategy. The last video that you will see here in the Happy Trail series is our back testing video. Jay will be going over details in that video about the best pairs to trade and the best time frames that we have found based on our back testing. You will also have availability to our backtesting to see multiple examples of how you would mark up each one of these cases. So no matter which case you chose, I highly suggest checking out the backtesting video that we offer here in the Happy Trails series, so that way you can understand what the best option for you to trade is, best time frame, best pairs, and also how to mark them up and see lots more examples.
What is up, everybody? So this is the Happy Trail data and backtesting breakdown. And so, as y'all know, we went over a lot of use cases for specifically case 1, 2, and 3. Case 4 is the old Happy Trail version, so we didn't test that. But just to give you an idea of all the cases that we ran, it was a total of 16. And majority of these weren't as well as a lot of the others, such as the 5 and 15 minute and the 1 and 5 minute. A couple 3 and 5 minute combos are pretty good for case 2 and 3. But with that being said, it was over like 10 million trades, and that was too much information to give y'all. And so for us, we broke it down to where it was two main things, to where we wanted to see at least a monthly average above 0 and a maximum drawdown of no more than 10. And so from that aspect, we were able to get about 176 individual case scenarios for y'all. You'll be able to view this sheet down below. There'll be a link where you can click and get a copy of the sheet, and you will be able to make a copy. So you come here in the top left, you click file, then you make a copy. And then from there, you title it whatever you want and make a copy from there. Because whenever you open this right away, it will be in view only and you will not be able to make any edits. And so I'm going to show you how you can use this specific tab, which is the filter data breakdown, which is pretty cool. So before I get into it, all of the data is in UTC -5. And so when you see London, it is 2 a.m. to 7 a.m., UTC -5, mixed New York. And then we split Asia into early Asia and late Asia, just to kind of make things a little bit easier, because you'll see soon that there's some really good gems in late Asia specifically. But moving on from there, this is just literally the directory that we got from filtering the monthly average and the maximum drawdown. And so moving left, 1, as you can see, there are 4 columns that you'll be able to customize. And so right now we're in late Asia. And so it pulls all the data from here that is in the late Asia session category. And win rate is 0, max drawdown is 10, and standard deviation is 100. And so deviations are going to be very small. The drawdown obviously can't go above 10, so you could just kind of set that to 10, kind of leave it there. If you want to set it even further, let's say 5, it will reduce that. And then also you could sort by whatever column you want to see. So in this case, if you want to sort by the smallest to greatest reward, it'll also highlight it in yellow right here. If you want to sort by the most total gain, it will go from greatest to least, the least drawdown all the way to the max drawdown, the best win rate all the way to the worst win rate, and the best standard deviation all the way to the worst standard deviation. So to quickly summarize, standard deviation just means how close are each of the months compared to each other. In the case of, if you have a high standard deviation, then that can mean one month you'd have -5 gain, another month you have 15 gain. Rather than if you have a tight standard deviation, then that can mean you have 5% gain one month, you have 8% gain, you have 3% gain, you have 4% gain, where it's all kind of tightly knit. We want to see that. But I'm just going to leave it at total gain as of here. If you increase the win rate, let's say we want to see at least 50, it'll go even lower. And if we want to see at least 55, it'll go even lower there. If we want to sort by win rate, we'll do this, and then we can go from there. And so you can just mess with this. I keep it at 0, and I keep it at 10, and I keep the standard deviation at 100 just so you can see everything. And then you can switch by the session. So London, mixed, New York, late Asia, I just had it on, and then early Asia, and sorts by that. And so scrolling over to the right, very similar to here, you have the 4 same parameters, but now you can actually filter per pair. So let's say you want to trade NAS, or let's say you want to trade Euro Aussie and you want to trade that during London. Well, we don't have anything there, and so you just sift through all of the sessions. We have something in late Asia, case 3, 5, 15 minute, where you go for 1 hour, 17 gain, and 53 win rate, which isn't that bad. But let it be told that we tested this with a swing high and low, so some of the stop losses will be a lot bigger, and so take this data with a grain of salt. You might be able to find better win rates whenever you test this yourself, and I'll make the disclaimer that you do need to test this yourself. Do not just use this data and go trade right away, because your stop losses might be different than what we did with the overall swing high and low. And so it's very important, and you'll see soon in the data that I backtested that is kind of different, but it's pretty similar to the data that we're able to get here. It's just that my stop losses are sometimes tighter or wider, mostly a little bit tighter than what the backtesting had. So like I said, I'm going to repeat this over again. Look at the data and get a benchmark, and then test yourself to make sure it is good to go for yourself. Do not just take this data and go out and start trading live and trading prop firms. Okay. So now that we know this, we can filter it by just the overall win rate, max drawdown, standard deviation, and session. We can also go as far as just picking pairs. Let's get into the data. So I backtested 4 different cases. I added some tips, a lot of tips right here. Whenever I did AJ on the 3 and 5 minute, the only 3 and 5 minute combo that looked pretty good during New York time specifically. And as you can see, pretty good. 1R, even 2R is pretty good, but I like the 1R. You're about 62% win rate as of now. I started from March 14th, as far as I can go back all the way to June 22nd, and it looked very, very good. And so this is 11 to 1500 UTC minus 5. And I gave you some tips. So drawing the high and low of the previous session using as a form of support resistance. And I also give the example of when I took this backtested trade. You won't be able to see this, but if you go to March 22nd, 2023, at this time, you'll see that there's a happy trail smiley, and I drew the low of the New York session from the previous day. As you can see, we got the smiley, we got the break in the close, it even got a retest, and you could have entered in here. We got a nice rejection off of this, not a coincidence at all, and then into another sell that I think we unfortunately lost here at this point, but pretty interesting stuff. And so not only that, but as well as all the course that we have, ICT and SMC, adding some of those concepts into play. You have your bullish and your bearish order block. That's kind of your high and low at this point. You get a rejection of the low, and you're starting to have higher lows. And funny enough, in your fair value gap, it actually comes back in to tap your fair value gap. You get your happy trail smile, and you're in there. We tested 1-to-1, like one reward with this particular case with AJ. But as you can see, if you add in some concepts that you get familiarized with, and also make sure you test this, you can get a lot better. Like, these win rates can get better, and the rewards can get better for all these. But we're just simply taking the happy trail smiley with the specific reward whenever we see it in the specific time that we were testing. So let that be known. This is very bare bones. Whenever you add in price action and other things, it will just increase your win rate dramatically. Again, in this case, we get a little rejection block here, and we get a rejection off of it, smiley print, so we're good to go there. So that's AJ with a couple tips. We also tested Ethereum just to get a little crypto in there. Had a small tip about the trend in this case, where you're forming higher highs and higher lows, and your last swing low is here, and you could basically draw a consolidation box. You do not want to be selling right now. You want to at least see this broken, a retest, and then potentially thinking about going there, but you're in a clear uptrend. You don't want to be selling there. That happened a lot of times, unfortunately. GJ during late Asia was pretty good too. 2.5R at about a 46, 47 win rate is a little bit crazy. Almost hit about 100 reward right now. Actually, if you follow Bear, he is the guinea pig in this instant. He is going to be trading this, and I believe another pair too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he is trading GJ currently and trying this out for Happy Trail. So good luck to him. And then, as always, we always love our NAS. We traded both mixed and New York, and you can see some pretty good results. We only had 2 negative. We had 1 negative and just a break even in New York. But as for mixed, it was 16. Had a tough month in February. March was good. April was good. May was good. And June was good. So pretty good numbers there. So that breaks down the Happy Trail V2 data filtering. As you can see here, you'll be able to make a copy. That way you can change all of these filters to see what specific pair, what session you want to be looking at, and then go out and go test and have fun. If you have any questions, obviously always hit us up at Strat Support, and we'll see you there.